Join me, 48 Hours correspondent Erin Moriarty, on my podcast, My Life of Crime, as I take on true crime investigations like no other. This season, I'm looking into the labyrinth of crime and secrets within families. I'm cutting straight to the evidence and talking to the people directly involved, including investigators and the families of victims. Listen to My Life of Crime with Erin Moriarty wherever you get your podcasts.
Inspired by the life of the savvy and ambitious Colombian businesswoman Griselda Blanco comes a new Netflix original limited series. Griselda tells the story of a devoted mother who, with her lethal blend of charm and relentless savagery, creates one of the most powerful cartels in history. Witness Sofia Vergara's captivating transformation into the godmother of the underworld. Griselda, streaming January 25th, only on Netflix.
Welcome back to another episode of No Waco. This is your host, Debbie. Welcome back to another episode of No Waco. I'm your host, Debbie, and today we have a very special guest here in the studio. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. I am Dr. Tim Packer. I am Executive Director at the Cove, Heart of Texas, here in Waco.
Wow, perfect. And one of the first questions I always ask is, what brought you to Waco, or are you Waco native? And by your accent, I can tell one of those things.
I often like to tell people when they ask me, oh, where are you from? I say, oh, Alabama. And the look on people's faces is hilarious.
I love that.
So I'm in Waco because of love. My wife is a Wacoan and multi-generational Wacoan.
Oh, wow.
Her family. And we were living in Edinburgh, Scotland together. And then I think it was probably towards the end of 2018, a lot of things were just indicating that it was time to move to be nearer her family. And so we started the process. You know, there's a small matter of a global pandemic kind of
just a little
happened
bit
at the same time. But we eventually got here summer, fall of 2021.
Wow. And how long have you been with the Cove?
So I arrived in the country on the 15th of September 2021 and started at the Cove on 20th of September 2021. But initially started as Chief Operating Officer. Mm-hmm. And then Kelly Atkinson, who's the previous Executive Director, made the decision to step down, and through the recruitment process, I was selected.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic. Well, I love what you're doing with the Cove, and it's fantastic having you today in the studio.
Great.
Yes, and today we're here to talk about an exciting event we're having actually this weekend, which is also St. Patrick's Day. So, I mean, Scott, Irish, you know. Celtic. Yes, Celtic. Yeah. So it all goes with it.
It all goes with it, yeah.
So tell me about the event this weekend.
So we had the opportunity to work with Freight, Ice House and Yard Bar, I think is the full title.
Something.
But yeah, Freight, Petra from Freight approached us and they had heard about the Cove. They were looking for the opportunity to do something just around St. Patrick's Day, and approached us to ask if we would be willing to be the beneficiary of their hard work and
take their money. Yes.
And you know, we love working with the businesses here in Waco, and we have a really great partnership with a range of different businesses. And you know, it's a fun opportunity, good opportunity to raise awareness of what we do, good opportunity for people to have some fun, and just support the work that we do.
Yeah, I love that. And I heard that there's going to be a band playing.
Yes.
A dog leprchaun contest,
absolutely.
Right? Is that what I saw?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. So there's a brass band that's going to be coming. There is, yes,
a doggy
leprechaun party for your canine family members. And there will be vendors from a range of businesses around. Those vendors are donating a portion of their proceeds, taking that evening. And Lee's food truck will be there. There'll be a raffle where the funds from that will come to the Cove.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a recommended $5 on the door donation.
Wow, I love that. And that's a fantastic way for people to go out in the community and have fun and also give back to a great cause.
Absolutely.
So tell me about, what is the Cove?
So the Cove is a non-profit working here in Waco and the 6-county region including and around McLennan County. It's a non-profit that works with high school-aged youth who are experiencing homelessness. And we provide 3 kind of core services. We have traditionally been best known for our after-school program, but we also provide one-to-one casework on school campuses, and we're a drop-in service. So Monday through Friday, youth can come and receive support from basic needs through to accessing ID, accessing emergency housing. We help some youth with the emancipation process if that's the situation that they're in. We have a shower, we have laundry facilities, we have hygiene items and food and all kinds of things.
Yeah, I love that. And it sounds like you guys are very integral to our community. Why do you think it's so important that you guys are here in Waco right now?
So the Cove started in 2016, but the thought process behind the Cove started earlier than that, around 2013. And it started because Dr. Cheryl Pooler and a number of other people in the community were recognizing this need for high school age students, and there was a gap in the provision. And one of the main things that we focus on is helping these students to complete their education, high school education, and have a kind of a next step in mind. Students who experience homelessness, they graduate at a much lower rate than their peers, so kind of in the mid 60% compared to over 80% for the general population of students. And students who don't graduate high school are also 4.5 times more likely to experience homelessness as an adult. So why is the Cove important for this community? Because we want to break that cycle. We believe everybody should have the opportunity to thrive. We don't like to think that there's students who are struggling to have somewhere safe and regular and appropriate for them to stay on a night-to-night basis. And that could be because they're doubled up, or they're having to sofa surf, or they're staying in their car, or other kind of habitation not fit for humans. Yeah. So we're here because the need is here.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. With that, we'll just take a break real fast and then we'll be right back.
Okay.
And now for a word from our sponsors.
Frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about.
Hey, I'm Zach.
And I'm Mike.
And we have a fantastic new podcast to tell you about. Bros, Foes, and Heroes. It's the two of us looking into the world of comics, breaking down some characters that you may have never heard of, and some that are just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, so Zach comes up with a character each time, and I go into it just completely blind. I don't know who this person is or what their abilities are or anything, and basically I guess we kind of go over their origin story and just some of the ridiculous stuff that maybe, especially Golden Age stuff.
Oh, Golden Age stuff is always the best, and we will make sure to highlight all of the shenanigans and just absolute weirdness of everything.
Yeah, that's right. So subscribe today and follow us on Instagram at Bros Foes Heroes.
And if you don't, I know where you live. Not really, but please subscribe.
Frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about.
911, what's your emergency?
Do you hear that? It's coming from the house.
It's coming from inside the house? Do you mean? Could it be?
The Poltergeist. New from Rogue Media. Two haunted hotties talking about haunted places. Every episode we dive deep into the darkest places and give you a bit of history.
We're getting spooky in all the right places. You've gobbled your last ghoul. Follow along for the craziest and spookiest stories with Debbie's Dark Tourism. The Stanley Hotel,
Winchester House,
the Alamo,
Hotel Monte Vista,
and more spooky places. Find us at _Poltergals. POLTERGALS.
Look over your shoulder. It's us,
the Poltergals. Wherever you consume the podcast, you can find us there.
Hi, this is Sarah.
And I'm Carter.
And this is Some of Our Thoughts.
We're two Southern sommeliers, and we want to share everything we love and know about wine. We started hanging out during quarantine and cooking and drinking and listening to music, and we just thought this would be a great way to bring everything we know to you guys.
We will make wine knowledge and food pairings easy and approachable. So put on your favorite vinyl, grab your favorite glass of wine, tune into our show, and let's have some fun.
Wine and vinyl. So check us out on roguemedianetwork.com or wherever you get your favorite podcast. We'll be talking about a lot.
And now, back to the episode. And we're back. So we were just talking about why your organization is so important in our community. What is the mission behind the Cove?
So, so the Cove's mission is quite large.
Mm-hmm. I can
we
see.
want to be ambitious, but we believe that we should work and that we can work towards ending youth homelessness in the heart of Texas. And it's quite a big claim to end youth homelessness, and so it probably deserves a little bit more explanation. And when we talk about ending youth homelessness, what we mean really is that it's infrequent or rare, that it's short for short duration, and it's non-recurring. So we want to find ways that we can quickly identify youth who are experiencing homelessness, and the schools are great partners in this. So there's some legislation called the McKinney-Vento Act, and that requires school districts to have what's called a homeless liaison officer, whose role is to identify and access support for youth experiencing homelessness. Also, if you're politically minded, there's actually a bill in the Texas House and Senate to create a similar role at the higher education level, so colleges and universities. The aim is to have a similar role to provide that wraparound support for students experiencing homelessness. So this mission of ending youth homelessness, and there's like I was just saying before, there's this kind of cycle of experiencing homelessness, not graduating high school, and then experiencing adult homelessness. And so, the mission of ending youth homelessness and the contribution we are trying to make is to break that cycle. And graduating high school is one of the really big ways to do it. One of the key offers that we have for students is attendance recovery. So if a student spends an hour with us after school, they can get up to 3 hours of attendance back. In 2022, we helped recover just over 5,900 hours of attendance.
Wow, that's amazing.
But also just recognizing that homelessness presents a whole bunch of challenges, practical challenges for students being able to engage with their education. And so we work with our school partners to help students enroll and get to school, to help advocate for where they're having difficulties. We have paid tutors that come and help them with assignments, or just help them to engage with that learning that they're having in school, but then also outside of school. So
yeah, I love that. And that auxiliary help is so important in situations like this. And I know it takes a lot to do this. What is a way for people to get involved or support you guys?
So the Cove is a nonprofit. We're fortunate to be one of 3 recipients in Waco of a federal grant called the Youth Homelessness Demonstration Program. And then McLennan Commissioner's Course also provides a grant for us, along with a range of other organizations like United Way. And we've had support from the Cooper Foundation and the Waco Foundation and Rappaport and all kinds of people. So the federal and foundation grants that we receive cover kind of in the region of about half of what we need each year. And so the rest of the money comes through our corporate sponsorship strategy. So we have a tiered recognition program for businesses who want to support our work, and that's starts at $1,000 in a year up to $30,000.
Wow, that's fantastic.
And we also look for individual donations. We need money to pay our staff and to have the building that we have and to have computers and keep our vehicles on the road and all of that sort of thing. So people can go to our website and find out more about giving financially. We're also really interested in speaking to people who might want to do like estate planning or a planned gift. Nobody wants to think about their end of life, but we also do want to plan for that. And one of the ways that people can make a lasting kind of impact for the community is through that estate planning process. And we have some real practical ways as well. So volunteers every evening, Monday through Thursday, when our programming is running, we have 3 to 5 volunteers who will come, and their role is very much just about supporting and encouraging the youth to participate in the services that are there, help with serving the meals and cleaning up and being a trusted, reliable presence for our youth. Volunteers, we ask them to commit for 1 evening a week for a semester, and so we recruit each semester and for the summer break. And again, there's a volunteer form on our website, which is thecovewaco.org, in case people are looking for it. But if you put the Cove Waco, you should probably
you'll probably find
complex. Us. But not. We're also the Cove apartment complex is also in Waco, so we have to be careful sometimes of where we direct people. And we also, like I was mentioning before, we provide basic needs for our youth, and that's hygiene items, ethnic hair care products, school supplies. Mine's gone blank, of course. The things that I say every day. One of the things that we just on that, one of the things that we don't actually take is clothing. We just don't have capacity to do that or storage space for it. But we work with Things from the Heart, which is part of the Shepherd's Heart Ministries.
We've had them on before.
Have you? Great.
Yeah,
yes,
love them.
They're amazing and do just great work here. But if we can take a youth up to Things from the Heart up on Bosque, and they can access some free clothing there, and and I guess just on that, one of the things that we try and do at the Cove is give our youth choice and control over their situations. So for people who experience homelessness, that loss of control and loss of dignity and loss of choice that can happen. So if you're staying at your parents one night and then you have to run to a friend's, or you're in a car, keeping track of your stuff can be hard. And so we're really reliant on having those supplies for our youth. Again, get in touch with us, hello@thecovewaco.org, and we'll kind of liaise with you, just because our needs change through the year.
Perfect. And again, you guys have amazing events like this for people to get involved. So even if they can't, do everything, they can give back a little bit and enjoy a community event as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's really great that you guys do things like this. And then you guys also have a fundraiser you do every year in the fall, correct?
Yes, we do. We don't have a date for it quite
yet.
So watch this space. We have a newsletter which people can sign up at from the website, or on Facebook and Instagram at the Cove Waco. Follow us there, and you'll keep on top of the things that we need. And also, when we do volunteer kind of drives or requests for volunteers, or if we have requests for specific items, then they're good channels to keep on top of as well.
Yeah, well, I love that. Is there something you would like to see more of in Waco, or something you would like to see grow here in Waco?
How long do we have?
Plenty.
Plenty time. Okay. Do you know, a lot of my work previously was in the UK in Edinburgh, and working for the city of Edinburgh, and it's a very different legal context. We have in the UK there's this a legal right to housing for homeless households that just doesn't exist here in the US, and so there's some real deep need around having that kind of safety net and that infrastructure in our city and state and country. And I mean, that's a really big thing. But one of the things that I've really noticed coming to Waco is that people are really generous, and they want to be involved, and they want to know how to help. And that's a real asset to Waco. And so I think, do we need a better transport system? Yes, we need a better transport system. Do we need more affordable housing? Yes, we need more affordable housing. Do we need sustainable, lasting jobs where people can build careers? Yes. Do we need help to reduce the stigma around employing or housing young people? Yes, we need all of those things. But sorry, that got political.
I love that. No, fantastic.
Quite big, but this is, and how to say, the city is working on their housing strategy, and the Homeless Coalition, and the various partners that sit around the table in these discussions. I'm part of a group called Our Communities, Our Future, which is around helping and supporting our children and families behavioral health type services to be visible and accessible to the community as well. So there's lots of really good pieces, and the work that we at the Cove and others are trying to do is just to continue building those pieces into that kind of big supportive structure that we need. Yeah,
and I know you kind of already said this, but what is something you love about our Waco community?
Well, I said, there's this really deep kind of seated desire to be generous and to care for people, and that that's great. There's some practice. I love Cameron Park. I'm allowed to say that, I guess. It's not quite the Scottish Highlands, but it's pretty good. So I run a fair amount, and so done quite a few miles there in the park. When I moved to Waco, I was finishing up my PhD. I was just starting this new job, and then starting another new job, helping my wife and the kids settle into life and school here. Our youngest daughter has some additional support needs, and so that's a whole other kind of get up. And so it took me a while to begin to find my feet, but I think that the way that I've been welcomed in so many forums and places, and the accent helps. I have to admit, the accent does help, and but I do get the sense that, like I said, Waco is a welcoming community, wants to be involved, is willing to hear how to be involved as well, and those are good things.
Yeah, and I love that. And it sounds like, again, you're such an integral part to our community. Is there anybody you might want to shout out that has helped along this journey? I always say you can shout out your mom, your dog, or your grandma.
Mom, dog, grandma.
All of the above. Any other organizations or anything like that?
Yeah, so, I've mentioned quite a few organizations along the way that we work with. Our school partners are obviously integral to what we do. We couldn't do the work without having partnerships with Waco ISD and La Vega Midway, and love to speak with other school districts as well, and the ways that we can support them. We've got a great board, our current board chair, Stephen Orr, and then Dr. Cheryl Pooler, who's the previous chair, both been incredibly supportive, helping me kind of get settled in and learn the ropes. My team keep laughing at me because I keep saying, in the UK, we do ...
We need that here.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Maybe some of it.
You're in Texas. It's very different than the rest of
But yeah, we have a great, like I said, the service dimension, like the Heart Attacks Behavioral Health Network and Family Abuse Center, who we work with on the Youth Homelessness Demonstration Program grant. United Way is one of our local funders, and Cooper Foundation and Waco Foundation and Rappaport have all also supported us. Yesterday I was at the Baylor Philanthropy Lab, and their Solid Gold Neighbor program is just great. And also mentioned was the Our Communities, Our Future group, and folks that are involved with that. So I have probably missed lots of people. I apologize.
You can never name them all. It happens every episode.
I'd be here a long time. The other big one that I need to mention is Methodist Children's Home. And, so they made it possible to have our building up on Waco Drive and just have a real heart for serving the kind of wider community. And the various members of the team that we kind of have contact with there on a regular basis are just great. Again, apologies if I forgot you, and you're integral, and my team. I can't
you gotta
forget
shout
my
the
team. I know. So there's 10 of us in the team, and they are all committed to the mission and work hard and deal with the craziness that happens sometimes, and the long hours at times, and the unusual requests, and the just whatever kind of happens. And so we can't do this without the team. And
that's absolutely fantastic. And of course, give us all your social medias, where we can find you, where you can find more information, your website again, just so everybody has it.
Okay, so our website's at thecovewaco.org. And Facebook and Instagram at
slide in those DMs. Waco. Yeah, that's what I did. Just slide right in and talk with your amazing social media person.
Yeah, so Harold Brown is our community relations coordinator. So if you see our Instagram posts and Facebook, that's all him.
All right, perfect. And is there anything else you would like to share with our guests today?
I don't think so.
All right, perfect.
Come to the event tomorrow.
Woo, yes.
From 5 p.m. $5 suggested donation on the door. Please give more. I'll be there with my Square card reader and or a QR code for our website. But the main thing is come and have some fun and find out more about what we're doing, and support some of the vendors and support Freight as a great community partner.
Yeah, and thank you again so much for your time, and thank you so much for coming on today.
All right, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Find us everywhere on all social media platforms, KNOW_Waco. Check us out at roguemedianetwork.com, and we're on YouTube under Rogue Media Network. Check out nowaco.com.